Well, hello there, my friend. Welcome back. My name's Gavin. This is my show. Tonight is Witness Wednesday. Tonight is actually the last live stream of the week. As you guys know, I am traveling back to my hometown back in Northern California to spend some time with the folks. So I will be on out of here tomorrow after I finish up my workday and the day job. And I will be traveling all day tomorrow. The next day is my birthday, so I will be spending time with family and friends, other than, my children and my wife. It was really the only time I could get away, so that's why we decided to send me just to check in on mom and dad. So that is what I'm doing. Yes, Mooney, I am wearing the old Cluvelta shirt for moderate to severe true crime brain syndrome, suspectoline fluorate. Yes, indeed. So yes, and oh, what am I drinking out of? Mm, delicious, delicious dill juice. Okay. Thank you very much for the birthday greetings for Friday. I will be in touch with you for the rest of the time that I'm there. It's just tomorrow and Friday I'm going to be elsewhere. Um, what are we talking about, guys? Guys. Okay, before I get into this case, from the thumbnail and from the title and description and everything, that we're talking about Laken Snelling. This is a case that I have kind of stuck away from. I've kept away from, and I just want to tell you why. Uh, Now we've got some documents. I'm going to go ahead and go into it, and nobody's forcing me to do this. I've decided to do this, but I've stayed clear of the case because it just I just don't know. How do I say this? I don't think anybody could do what Miss Snelling is alleged to have done without some serious mental health struggles. And that's just me. And I'm not diagnosing her. I have no I have no credentials to do so. I feel for this poor girl. And that is not to say that if she did what they say she did, I believe that it's not a crime. I feel like this poor young woman wasn't equipped to deal with something, all the things going on in her life. And I think it's pretty evident as we kind of get into the details of the case. Okay, so let's bring up Ms. Snelling. This is, I've got several photos of her. This is Laken Snelling. I think this was before she headed off to college. She was a University of Kentucky stunt team cheerleader, and she has since withdrawn from UK. Here's a picture of her on the stunt team. Uh, there's her official portrait from the stunt team, and we're gonna get into this because her roommates were surprised. They wondered if she was pregnant or not. And I just want to take a close look at this photo. Okay, I'm going to go between some photos, right? Like, um, yes. Yes, young ladies. Yes. Now I also realize that in the, actually, this one's probably the best. Okay, let's do these two. Laken Snelling before, Laken Snelling after. Before, after. Yes, she is pregnant. Um, Again, I want to extend as much leeway, as much grace as I can to these young women. They're not experienced in life, they're young ladies. Um, Lauren is asking, do I feel Casey Anthony in this case? I really don't know. I think Casey Anthony is a murderer. I I think that this young woman is has mental health struggles and was not coping well with her situation. I don't know. Maybe it's an unpopular opinion. I don't know, but um also, I mean, I say this with just all of the love that I can muster for 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old kids. I include myself in this when I was that age. Oh my goodness. And I have been in this sea of, I've been drowning in the waters of memories of that time period in my life, 17 to 21, right? Y'all, we all are stupid at that age. We're just dumb. We're just dumb. And so I'm just, and I'm, dude, if you guys knew me, if y'all knew me when I was 17 years old, y'all wouldn't like me. Okay. I was 17 going on 12. When I was 21, I was slightly older emotionally. 21 going on, I don't know, 15. It's just a difficult and confusing time in life. Casey Anthony to me is a very, very different thing. Um, let's see, KLB. So I don't know specifically that she was claiming. Uh, was she claiming? Was she claiming you didn't know she was pregnant? No, there. I've seen reports and conversations on court TV where the young women in her apartment wondered. They weren't quite sure. So I don't know if she was hiding it or not. I'm not aware of those details. But yeah, I guess that's just what I'm getting at. This is the reason why why I have stayed away from this case is I just feel like, a little mercy needs to be shown here. And yeah, second beach gal. Yeah, LG Rescues, uh, great comments. 100%. She was certainly old enough to know what a baby is. Second beach gal, IQ drops after 16 for 10 years, at least 10 years, right? It is my opinion as a father, having raised three children to adulthood, and then we have two more that are still children, um, that the age of 13 is just the worst age. For everybody. It is the worst version of yourself is 13. But yeah, I think that, and I think, I mean, when I look at Ms. Snelling, I think there were lots of perfection, pressure that maybe she put on herself. Maybe there were others in her life that did too. She certainly has the look of a young lady who was her appearance, her presentation to the world was very important to her. And I kind of feel like it kind of drove maybe her identity. And yeah, so we're going to get into it. Okay. There are a couple of other questions. Um, Cooler by the Lake, I'm confused. Was she living at home? How did her mom not know she was pregnant, or at least suspect? She was off at college. She was at UK, University of Kentucky. She is from Tennessee. How could her coaches not noticed? Exactly. And one of the things about this case that I learned is that pregnancy in college is a Title IX protected condition, right? It's a Title IX Title IX protected medical condition. So if she was pregnant and say she was on scholarship or whatever, she could be given an extra year of eligibility for for her sport. I don't know if she was on scholarship or not, but anyway, yeah, I'm just trying to extend a little mercy here and explain to you guys why I have kind of been the way I have about this case. Okay, so let's do this. We're gonna go over to the old Acrobat. This is I got 8 pages that were filed there in Lexington, the Fayette County District Court. Kentucky is pretty similar to Pennsylvania. There's a lower court, there's a district court. A few days ago, Ms. Snelling did make an appearance. She's been charged with 3 crimes: concealing the birth of an infant, tampering with physical evidence, and abuse of corpse. 2 of those are felonies. One is a misdemeanor, Class A misdemeanor, and 2 Class D felonies. I haven't looked to see. Give me just a second. Kentucky felony grading. So in Kentucky felonies are divided into 5 categories from least to most severe. So Class D is least severe. Class D, C, B, A, and capital offenses. So this is a Class D felony, 2 counts of it, and it's certainly a felony, but it's like one step above a misdemeanor, right? I think let's look at misdemeanor classes in Kentucky. Misdemeanors are divided into 2 classes, Class A being the most serious, with potential penalties of up to 1 year in jail and a $500 fine. So, I mean, these are not unserious. There's a much easier way to say that, Gavin. These are serious. But she has not, at least so far, been charged with murder, and I think that hinges on whether or not the baby was alive when the baby was born. And of course, there are arguments to be made that engaging in a sport like this, I don't know if you guys have seen the videos where they're flying, they're tossing women and stuff like that, right? This it's not like football, it's not a full contact sport, but there's certainly dangers, I think. And I think a murder charge is going to depend on whether or not the baby was alive. And so far, the medical examiner has not been able to determine that. By the way, here in Pithvainwa, my great niece says, here in Western Pennsylvania, I think it was Jefferson County. It may have been Clarion County, but I have written a couple of articles on a case where a woman was evicted from her home. She had severe drug addiction issues. This just happened recently. In fact, I talked with Josh about this last night. When the landlord went in to clean up the place after she was evicted, he found in a closet, like in a tote, a discarded newborn baby, dead. And when he called police and police came, they immediately up in the attic found 2 more, and then later discovered that there were actually 3 more. So a total of 4. Now that woman has been charged with 1 count of murder. Now, I think last night I said 4 counts, but I think it's 1 count of murder. I went and looked at it again today. So these are very serious crimes, very serious issues. Yeah, I mean, I don't need to beat that dead horse, I guess. All right. So right now she is on home incarceration without an ankle monitor to live with her parents, as ordered by Judge Thurston here. And these are the charges that we've already gone over. She is out on bond, $100,000 bond, and it was done through a surety, so that means that it was done through a bail bondsman. It's like an insurance policy, right? The bondsman usually pays about 10%, so he gives $10,000 to the court. The defendant will put up some type of collateral, will pay for it somehow, and then if she skips town, he's on the line, or he or she, the bonds people. Okay, let's. All right. So the affiant has been an officer in the aforementioned agency for a period of 7.5 years, and the information and observations contained in herein were received and made in his or her capacity as an officer thereof. On the 27th day of August, 2025, so a little over a month ago, 10:33 a.m., the affiant received information from or observed. On the 27th, Lexington police officers were dispatched to a redacted address in reference to a death investigation. Upon their arrival, they learned a deceased newborn baby had been located in a closet belonging to Laken Snelling. Ms. Snelling was not at the residence upon officers' arrival. She returned shortly thereafter and was detained by patrol officers. And then there's a citation. I mean, we learn that she's 5'5", 120 pounds. You know, basically just all the things. So charge was concealing the birth of an infant, tampering with physical evidence, abuse of a corpse. Officers were dispatched to the listed suspect's address regarding a deceased infant being located inside of a closet. Infant was located wrapped in a towel inside a black trash bag. The listed offender was Mirandized and interviewed and admitted to giving birth. Furthermore, the listed suspect admitted to concealing the birth by cleaning any evidence, placing all cleaning items used inside of a black trash bag, including the infant, who was wrapped in a towel. In the process of cleaning the evidence of the birth, the listed suspect tampered with said evidence that proved she had given birth. I mean, okay. By wrapping the infant in towels and placing it inside of the black trash bag, the listed suspect treated the corpse in a way that would outrage ordinary family sensibilities. That's certainly true. And I don't want you guys to think that I'm going light on this. These are crimes, but I think anybody who had just given birth would clean up afterwards. But okay. She was arrested, blah 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 blah. Okay, let's get to the affidavit. And I'm just going to show you first before we read it that there are two copies of the same affidavit, but they're seeking different search warrants. So this one right here, they're seeking information from Facebook, and then the second one, which we will skip over, sorry, is word for word the same, but they're looking for a warrant for the iCloud. And then on the third page, it's slightly different, so we're definitely going to read that. And then yeah, these are the search warrants. So we won't get too far into the weeds on that. Oh, by the way, thank you to those of you who support me on Patreon. I put this full document for you to download on Patreon. And thank you for your patronage. Okay, so the affidavit reads, acting on the information received, affiant conducted the following independent investigation. Ms. Snelling was transported to headquarters and later University of Kentucky Hospital for treatment. At the hospital, I advised Ms. Snelling of her Miranda warning, and she stated that she understood and that she still wanted to speak to me. Oh my goodness. Okay, Gavin, she is a confused, having just given birth young woman. But guys, we all know to listen to the Miranda warning and heed its counsel. Goodness. Ms. Snelling stated that around 4 a.m., she gave birth to a baby which fell into the floor of her bedroom. Ms. Snelling stated that she didn't think the baby was breathing or was alive. I think that's a very important part. Now, she contradicts herself in a minute, but I think this is where the criminal prosecution is going to hinge. If if there is a murder charge coming, then we're going to be watching this case for a while. If there's not a murder charge coming, I think there will be a plea bargain here. I think they will plea probably to the misdemeanor, and that will be that. And the young lady will be able to get on with her life, having gone through a traumatic and terrible experience, having committed a crime and not taking care of her baby. But I think that is where this entire case hinges here. Miss Snelling advised that she was awake for around 30 minutes after giving birth before falling on top of the baby. Miss Snelling said that when she woke up from passing out, she quickly got up and observed the baby turning blue and purple. Laken said that she believed the baby to be dead and wrapped the baby up like a burrito and laid next to it in the floor because it gave her a little comfort in the moment. Miss Snelling said that she was woken up by her alarm at 7:30 a.m. for class at 9:30 a.m. So for me, like, okay, so if you go into labor and you deliver a barely alive or stillborn child, that is the time. She had roommates. Call out for help. Call 911, get some help for this child. But when you endeavor to hide it, then that to me indicates consciousness of guilt. Ms. Snelling said that she noticed that she was still bloody and needed to get a shower. Ms. Snelling said she went to the kitchen to get a black trash bag. Ms. Snelling said she placed the baby, which was still wrapped up inside of the towel, inside of the black trash bag, and placed the black trash bag in the closet. Ms. Snelling said she went and took a shower to clean up. She said after taking the shower, she came back into her room and started to clean up the rest of the blood. Ms. Snelling said that she used paper towels and the towel she had wrapped the baby in to clean up the rest of the blood. Ms. Snelling said she placed the placenta inside a Ziploc bag and placed it inside of the black trash bag. She said she wrapped the baby back up in the towel that she had cleaned the rest of the blood up with. She stated she then placed the black trash bag back into the closet and shut the door. Hey, by the way, I recognize, and I'm going to get to your comments in a little bit, that my position is probably pretty unpopular. And I deeply appreciate respectful disagreement, respectful debate. So just keep it classy like you always do. It's perfectly fine to call me out on what you think I'm wrong about. Laken stated she left her residence after this and went to school. She stated that she did not go to class but sat in her vehicle in the parking lot. She stated she wasn't feeling well, so she ordered McDonald's through the McDonald's app. She said that after getting McDonald's, she went to the University of Kentucky Student Clinic, where she also did not go inside. After this, Ms. Snelling stated she returned home, where she was detained and transported to headquarters for questioning. It should be noted that when speaking to medical staff at the University of Kentucky Labor and Delivery, she stated that the baby had a little bit of fetal movement, but passed out shortly after. So this is, again, this is the linchpin of this case. Ms. Snelling stated during her questioning by myself and Detective Martinez that the only time she passed out was around 30 minutes after giving birth, which leads me to believe that the baby could have been moving. Ms. Snelling also told medical staff that the baby made a whimper and that she guessed the baby was alive. A search warrant of Miss Snelling's phone resulted in locating several searches, including different things pertaining to pregnancy and different hashtags for different weeks pregnant on Facebook. It is the affiant's belief that this Facebook account could contain current or deleted information that relates to Ms. Snelling's pregnancy, to the birth of the full-term baby, and ultimately its potential demise. So, this must be the warrant return on this, but anyway, so that's the warrant for the Facebook account, and then it's the same warrant statement for the iCloud account. Now, we have one more to read, but before we do, let's check in, see what you guys have to say with me, or say to me. If you put GF in your comment, I will see it. Oh my goodness, I have got to sneeze. Whew, my goodness. I don't know. Let's bring up this picture and hide this. Bring this up. Angela Rothbauer says, Gavin, she took labor selfies and had researched how to hide a pregnancy. So I have heard that in Facebook conversations, but I haven't read it in any official report. So yeah, I would imagine either way, I would imagine she knew she was pregnant. Yeah, I wouldn't contest that at all. She knew she was pregnant. I mean, look, I mean, again, this picture, this picture, this picture, this picture. Yeah, she was definitely pregnant, and I don't. And I mean, according to the affidavit, let me go back to it real quick. Um, In fact, let me just read this last part of the second affidavit. So we talked about the Facebook thing where she had done searches and hashtags. It is the affiant's belief that this iCloud account could contain current or deleted information that relates to Ms. Snelling's pregnancy, to the birth of the full-term baby, and ultimately its potential demise. It should be noted that this account appears to be a shared account that is being accessed by both Michelle Snelling, the suspect's mother, and Laken Snelling, the suspect. Now, does that mean that Michelle knew about it? Well, yeah, possibly. It might mean that. I'll bring this up. Oh, you know what I should bring up? This is her mugshot. Okay. Next one. Could it be stigma, since she seemed to be keeping up with the Joneses? Yeah, the stigma of being a young, pregnant woman. Sure, I bet there was so much pressure. And this is again one of the reasons that I just have kind of steered clear, is that I just don't know how that feels, man. That, like, I just don't know how that feels. And I mean, it doesn't mean that I can't comment on it, right? I mean, I am a human being, and I can definitely have my opinion on things like this. But I imagine there was so much pressure. Maybe she was putting it on herself. Maybe others were putting on it. Maybe it was just she was afraid to, yeah, to not be the same old beautiful Laken Snelling that everybody knew. It's maybe the thought of word getting around town in her community that she was pregnant and all that. There's tons of reasons why she might feel pressure. Sure. Yeah. Thanks for that comment. Um, Kel says, I mean, lots of things can mess with your cycles, eating disorders being one, possibly. Maybe she really didn't realize or didn't want to. No excuses for what she did after, though. Yeah, and I think you're extending a lot of grace here, and I think you probably did so before we read that there were searches, right? She knew what was going on. Chrissy says, in the stunt video, you can clearly see the baby, his head and body. So sad. I don't know that I could see the baby. This is a screen grab from that video where, another girl is tossed up, and Ms. Snelling catches her upside down. I mean, it's pretty impressive. The strength, right, to do something like that. But I could definitely tell she was pregnant. Definitely. And you guys are talking about a lot of different things, like safe havens and adoptions and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that a baby's life does not count. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just trying to be, I don't know. I th- I think were I a young woman in that position, having grown up the way I did, I think it is quite possible that I, being the dill hole that I was, speaking of which, the dill hole that I was, could could have made really poor decisions too. I guess that's where I'm coming from. The baby's life counts. One hundo. Um, yeah. Scroll on down. Yep, she's out on bond. Okay. Lucia Sea Creature. Lucia, I'm sure. I'm wondering what sea creature you are. Are you like a mermaid? Are you a seahorse? That they're. Are you an anglerfish? What kind of sea creature are you? And maybe more importantly, how are you getting your electronic device to work underwater? Is and do you have thumbs? It doesn't matter. Okay. Lucia says, Gavin, I cannot imagine doing this to a baby, let alone your own newborn baby. When I had my baby, I was younger than some of these women. To protect the baby is the first priority. Yeah. See, Lucia, man, as much as I'm tongue in cheek about your name there, but you hit the nail on the head. The the instinct to mother is powerful. You guys know this way more than I do. Most of you, anyway. Um, you know this way more than I do. I've only seen it, right? From the moment that Kimberly was not a mother to the moment that she was a mother, she became a different, better person. And I didn't even think she could get better, but she did. And that instinct to nurture and care for and protect, like you said, Lucia, uh, it is deep within the soul of almost every woman. I think this is just my opinion. Certainly, I mean, certainly my own mother, certainly my sisters-in-law, all the people in my inner circle. I mean, you can just watch it happen. And I'm not rushing anything, but I'm so looking forward to seeing that in my own daughters. Just like, oh wow, look at them go, right? Um, but maybe you put into words better than I could why I was kind of apprehensive about getting into this case, because the fact that that didn't seem to have happened indicates to me that there's something wrong, mentally, emotionally, um, yeah, in terms of maturity, those sorts of things. I mean, my first experience with somebody who had a bit, I don't know if I should tell this. Okay, I'm going to tell this. I had a girlfriend in my freshman year of high school. She was wonderful. She was terrific. She still is. I'm still in touch with her, and she is awesome. Um, I can't remember when. I think it was sometime the end of freshman year. Uh, we broke up, and it wasn't too long after that that it turned out that she was pregnant. And I'm not telling stories out of class here. That everybody knows. Everybody who knows us knows this. Anyway, so we were 15. Not with my child. I should say that. um, but yeah, she had gotten pregnant with another kid and had the baby, and I watched her at the age of 15 switch from girl to mom, and it was powerful to watch. She and I remained close during that whole thing. We were buddies. So, yeah, I mean, it's just powerful, and there's just an indication that there's something wrong. Um, Let me keep on going. Now it's going to refresh on me. Give me a second to get to the right spot here. Okay. Cooler by the Lake says, Gavin, has the autopsy been completed? Can the medical examiner determine if the baby was born alive? Information out of the medical examiner's office came at the beginning of September. I think it was about September 5th. And at that time, it was inconclusive whether the baby was born alive or not. Now, I watched a report on Court TV just maybe an hour ago where they said then they're still waiting on the pathologist to determine if the baby was born alive or not. Martha says, you just read it, Gavin, the deleted searches on pregnancy stages. Yes. Meredith, why do you think she didn't go in on campus? Oh, when she went to her class? Oh, well, I think it likely, here we can, there we go. I think likely she was traumatized. Can you imagine? Maybe some of you can, right? But maybe many of you can, with your different experiences having children and so forth. But yeah, if she went to go to class and now she's feeling the pressure, like I got to keep it together, man. Um, and I mean, the reality is that having a baby is messy and requires medical attention and requires recovery. So yeah, I bet she was in rough physical shape. I bet she was traumatized. Her emotions were probably going crazy. The hormones in her body were probably going crazy. She probably realized she needed to eat. There's probably just a lot going there. Yeah. Linda, yeah, and this is a perfect example of somebody disagreeing with me while being respectful, and I love you for it, Linda. Thank you. Gavin, we may have all been dumb at that age, but we knew murder was illegal. You're right. Yeah, you're right. I kind of feel like that kind of like um kind of supports my point though, that there had to be something wrong there. But you're right. You're right. Um Maybe her mom was like Alexi Treviso's and she couldn't talk to her mom. I think oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, she was in touch with her mom, but yeah, maybe she just couldn't have that conversation. And kiddos, once again, I shouldn't call them dumb. I should call them ignorant, right? Like, um, every parent understands that parenting is hard. And I know there's that cliche thing, doesn't come with a handbook, blah, blah, blah. But it really is difficult to do. And we have adult children and we still don't know what to do, and we still struggle with them hiding stuff from us or keeping things from us because they think that we'll come down hard on them, that we'll be judgmental about them, that we won't be helpful. I mean, the fear in kids. I felt that towards my parents, and as an adult, having experienced it on the other side now, I realize, man, I could have turned to my parents way more often than I did, and and they would have been helpful and loving. So yeah, it's possible that that's the relationship that they had. I don't know. Kel says, yes, I didn't know anything about this and made the comment first. Yep, you did. I'm really not feeling that Grace now. She had so many options. She did. She did. And man, I have to say this for the umpteenth time in this video, but you guys are doing such a great job keeping it classy. Thank you to mods for helping us do that. And by the way, let's just take a moment to take a break from this real quick. And speaking of our mods, if you go to my website, gavinfish.com, let me pull that up so it looks a little better. There we go. If you go to the support me page, and so many of you support me in so many different ways. I deeply appreciate all the support you give me. Please scroll on down to no, not to that, to buy Autumn a coffee. Autumn is our lead moderator. And if you feel like you can or want to support her work, which is volunteer, please buy Autumn a coffee. While I've got you over here, don't forget that you can click on this little fishy up in the menu, and that will take you over to the fish tank where we hang out on Facebook. You've got an open invitation to join us there. Oh, and sign up for the Crime Cod newsletter. Go over to Crime Cod. Sign up for the newsletter. It's down here. It'll pop up if it's your first visit over to Crime Cod. It's my true crime news website. Go ahead and do those things. Okay. Let's bring Ms. Snelling up one more time. And actually, oh, there were a couple more comments that I want to get to before I get to the next part of the affidavit. This comment says from Cherry and Max. Which one is that gorgeous quadruped, Cherry or Max? Anyway, worked with situations like this, and so much more goes toward this tragic loss than people can know. Sad all the way around. Yes. Oh, it's not Lucia. See, I go to the Latin. I go to the Latin-based languages. It's Lucia. I think you've told me that before. Dang it. You are a surfer. You are a creature that loves the sea. Got it. Got it. Thank you, Lucia. And sorry that I keep on doing the whole Spanish pronunciation. Okay. Au contraire. Says Gavin, in my opinion, she couldn't face the consequences. Could be. Kel says that instinct should be there to protect, but so many stories tell us these days that it doesn't always. Yeah. Agreed. Okay. So I'm gonna pause us there. We're gonna head on back to this document and keep on reading. Okay. All right. This is the third one. Acting on the information received, says the affiant conducted the following independent investigation. Numerous detectives conducted interviews with all of Miss Snelling's roommates. Your affiant spoke to Redacted, who told me that all the roommates living at address Redacted are in a Snapchat group text together titled The Trap at Park. I imagine that has to do with what their apartment is, or I don't know, if it's a dorm or something, doesn't matter. In the 4 a.m. hour of August 27th, one of the roommates sent a message in the group chat stating she heard loud noises that sounded like something had fallen. Another roommate stated she heard the noises too, and that whatever caused them was so forceful it knocked a picture off her wall. One roommate stated the noises lasted for approximately an hour. At 8:48 a.m., Ms. Snelling sent a text to the group chat stating that those noises were caused by her passing out. She told the group she had not been feeling well and had not eaten and had fainted as a result. So she's endeavoring, according to this, at least my opinion of it, she is endeavoring to cover up again, right? Which is one of the charges, concealing the birth of a child. Ms. Snelling then informed the group chat that she was going to be seen by a doctor. Curious as to Ms. Snelling's story, the roommates entered Ms. Snelling's room in an attempt to locate a source of the loud noises. In the room, they found a blood-soaked towel on the floor and a plastic bag containing evidence of childbirth. They looked in Ms. Snelling's closet and located the deceased newborn baby placed in bags. The newborn appeared to be a full-term baby. Roommate's name redacted told me that all the occupants of the residence had suspicions that Ms. Snelling was pregnant. You think? They had suspicions that she was pregnant, but never confirmed it with her. Given that Ms. Snelling used Snapchat to communicate amongst her roommates, it is your affiant's belief that a search of Ms. Snelling's Snapchat account will preserve the messages sent to the group chat, along with any messages or communications she sent to others detailing the knowledge. So the reason that these were written, these affidavit or these statements were written, is they wanted the Facebook account, they wanted the iCloud account, and they wanted the Snapchat account. But this whole thing where they, let's see, where was it? They told the investigator that they had suspicions that she was pregnant. Come on. Maybe you don't have a close enough relationship with your roommate to talk about it. I don't know, but yeah, come on. That's a tough one for me to take. All right. Let's go on over to your comments and let's just go through these. I have not seen any statements from her mom and or dad. Yeah, Janine LaCour, you are saying, you are so spot on here. Don't cheerleaders have coaches? Hello? Hello? No other adults approached her and suggested no stunts if pregnant? Yeah, it feels like to me like it's their responsibility to protect her, sometimes even from herself, right? Yeah. Cherry and Max says, I think of the foster girls I had in this situation, and the differences of facing it are hard for most to fathom. Yeah, well, good on you, Cherry and Max. Robin says, the level of Laken's denial is massive. She probably couldn't comprehend the reality when the baby was born, and she just disassociates. Yeah, yeah, you said it better than me, Robin. Thank you. It's really hard to imagine, hard to believe. Tina, I like this comment. Even with compassion, a crime is still a crime. 100%. 100%. Ohio Palm Moms catching up on 3X me. Catching up. All right. I think I've got everybody's comments. Just to see if there are any others that I want to see. Tina also says, all this hiding pregnancy is what's keeping most from having compassion. Looks like she had no intention of being a mother. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I really should do this. Let's keep that one up there. Yeah, this brings up a question about the options, right? And I'm staying far away from politics on this, guys, and I appreciate it if you do as well. But it is interesting that she did go full term. She went full term, and then this happened. To me, again, that's an indication that there is a mental or emotional issue. Martha says, I truly doubt she passed out. She was too busy cleaning up and concealing the birth and then snuffing out her child. And I think that's a fair opinion to have. Judith wishes me a happy birthday. So many of you said that earlier. Thank you very much. I am turning the big 50. The big 50. And I'm not doing well with it. I'm acting like a child right now. I really am. But yeah, I guess this too shall pass, right? One of the things that I'm really looking forward to being back in NorCal is seeing some old friends. I'm just really looking forward to that. I have an old friend that is one of the closest friends I had from my senior year of high school through the next probably 5 years, and I haven't talked to him in maybe 15, maybe 20. So, well, I've talked to him since, but we went like 15 or 20 years having not talked, and I think that's one of the reasons why I'm struggling so much with this post midlife crisis. Just it's not cool. It's not cool how you've treated your friends, Fish. You gotta be more there. Send birthday cards and check in on their kids and stuff like that. I guess I've just been preoccupied with my life, and I am resolving to do better. But we're gonna do that, and then I've talked to you about my friend Kenny, who is a filmmaker out in Northern California, a documentary filmmaker, and he and I have a project, a potential project that we're working on. Hey, speaking of, I forgot to tell you guys this. No, I posted it on the community tab or on the posts tab, but earlier today, let me bring this up. Earlier today, and make sure this tab is muted. I joined Donna on Daily Dose of Donna. Uh, I'm sure, like, there we are. So, this is a channel that I did not know existed. Donna is just a delightful woman. She had reached out to me on Instagram wondering if I would come on today to talk about Ellen Greenberg, and I saw the post kind of pretty much at the time that she started. And so while the while she started, I just hopped in to watch, and I commented, wished her a happy Yom Kippur, and she's like, "Oh, Gavin's here. Do you want to join me?" So I joined in. So go check out Daily Dose of Donna. I think that I thought it was a good conversation, and I think she's got. I haven't looked at any of her other videos, but I'm really looking forward to, and maybe we'll have Donna on one of these times. I love the idea of collaborating with other true crime fans and true crime creators. So yeah, go check out her channel. Maybe give her a subscribe if you think that if you like her stuff, because I thought that she was just absolutely delightful, and she had all of the emotional reactions to the Ellen Greenberg documentary that I had, and I was really happy to be on there. So go check that out. It is, if you go to my posts tab here, I posted it about an hour ago. Go check that out. Also, um, let me, here, we're going to bring up this picture real quick, and then let me just go to, um, I want to show that I posted, ¿Dónde está? ¿Dónde está? Ah, there it is. So I posted this on Patreon, the Laken Snelling affidavit that we just went through. So if you're interested in downloading that, it is available for download for my patrons. And yeah, go check that out if you want to. It's there. And thank you to my patrons and my YouTube members and all of you who support me as I transition to full-time YouTuber. It's been great. So, okay, once again, I won't see you tomorrow. I won't see you Friday, but I'll see you Monday. I'll try to like be on social media, take some pictures of where I am, and maybe share some stuff along the way. One of the things that I want to do with my pops is do an on-screen interview, just kind of it's really to share with family. It's not really to put out publicly, but just I did it with my grandmother before she passed away, and when she was like 91 years old, and with my dad, and he has a lot to look forward to, many years left with us, we hope. But I wanted to kind of get him on camera and talk about his life and talk about some of the things that he may have not told us before, which I'm really looking forward to. So I've got lots to do while I'm in California, and I'll take you along for the ride on some of those. All right. Until then, go check out the fish tank, because that's actually probably where I'm going to be posting most of the stuff. It's where we hang out on YouTube. This is a post from my sister when I talked about Mr. Rogers. Man, there we go. Feeding the fish. I love Mr. Rogers, but we've got lots of stuff going on in the fish tank. Go check it out. And with that, I shall bid you adieu. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. I deeply appreciate it. And we'll see you on the next one. Take care. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.